She's really the grass from the heavenly land. Take it slow, many people call her heavenly land grass. Didn't Chang'an also take form like you? The grass looked up, her spiritual energy was strong, and her output was no worse than mine. No wonder the master took a liking to her. Heaven has eyes. After all the bitter cultivation to become an immortal, we finally have a sister. She's so precious, yet the ancestor actually let her go out. Doesn't that mean? The grass stood under those malicious gazes, facing the terrifying smiles, and was so scared she nearly collapsed. What are they doing? Suddenly, the prison chicken took out a fishing rod. This is a new fishing rod I prepared for you. Everyone was congratulating. Welcome to join the Immortal Mountains Bitter Cultivation Team. Chang'an stepped forward to explain to the grass. This is our tradition. Every time a new member joins, we add chopsticks and need to pray. Don't worry, with Fong Liang here, there won't be any more joining the Air Force. She still has a beginner protection period. The grass spoke in a somewhat flustered tone. But does the master no longer need me? Chang'an said, how could that be? You're the treasure by master's side. She replied, then why was I kicked out? Ken Kai replied, don't worry, the master will let you return. Let's go fishing. Tiandong also chimed in. Miss should have a name. Calling you heaven and earth grass sounds strange. Under everyone's expectations. She said, oh, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Wudao Sword, please take care of me. Upon hearing this name, everyone was stunned. Still call it heaven and earth grass. Don't tell me it's a name master gave you. The glaring sunlight shone on the cliffside. In Hanju's cave, Hanju was concerned about Hong Quan, asking if she had suffered any grievances from being out for so long. It seems like you've never used puppets. You're massaging her shoulders, Hu Xian replied. No grievances, but I did meet a lot of demon cultivators who wanted to take me as their disciple. On the stone table were 5 tokens. You see, she's really lucky. The aura on these tokens is all from integration stage demon cultivators. Also, disciples of the 5 sects of Demon Tao. She hasn't offended them, has she? Hong Quan angrily said, husband, why would I fear integration stage cultivators? You smiled and replied, of course, you should. They have strong backgrounds. If a fight really breaks out, I'll kill him, Master will come to help, and then I'll have to find a way to kill Master. It's so troublesome. She sighed, that does make some sense. Hanju then said, the outside world isn't very peaceful recently. It's better if you don't go out. You were massaging her legs when Hong Quan continued, she's already at the nascent soul stage, her lifespan should be close to 1,000 years. With such a long lifespan, just stay by my side and diligently cultivate. After hearing this, her eyes reddened and her heartbeat quickened. Hong Quan leaned against you. All right, I will fully obey my husband. Suddenly remembering something, she said, by the way, before I came back, I found this in the dilapidated sacrificial room. After speaking, Hong Quan fumbled between 2 pomelos. The process wasn't easy, and she had to dig 3 feet of earth. Hey, wait a minute. Let me dig for a while. Hanju helplessly said, are there really no bags for jewelry in this world? Suddenly, Hong Quan took out a piece of jade and asked, what about this, husband, do you like it? You widened your eyes in surprise, you actually managed to dig it out. Holding the jade, it was about the same size as the previous spirit stones. How can it be a stone that blocks divine consciousness? Hanju frowned. The outer layer has rune seals. Wait, this layer of pink crystals is a protective shield made by a human. I really want to see what's hidden inside. After speaking, you recited an incantation. The jade emitted light, illuminating the surroundings. Hanju was stunned. The power of divine consciousness was uncontrolled. You seemed to enter an illusion, not just that, but also the memories of the original owner. A huge door appeared in front of Hanju. The light beyond the door was blinding, and you blurted out, is this an immortal realm? Upon a closer look, you noticed 2 characters carved on the door, Heaven's Court. Hanju worriedly said, Heaven's Court, remember, it was this force that killed the black prison chicken. In the distance, a huge dark shadow was approaching you. It was a monster, and the height of the mountains barely reached its knees. It had 4 blood-red eyes, which sharply contrasted with its black body, and horns sprouted from its head, stretching outward. Hanju exclaimed. My God, what kind of monster is this? It's even taller than the sky. Wait, there are many people in the sky. Some flags were raised high in the sky. Hanju thought, the emperor personally led the expedition, with celestial soldiers and horses standing on the clouds. A shadow stood at a high place, seeming to be their leader. Seeing the crowd surround them, the monster began gathering fireballs in its mouth. The leader raised a hand, pointing with a finger, and said, the heavenly sword Tao, 3. Sword opens the great wilderness. Just that phrase, and the monster grew larger than the clouds, its body exploding. After witnessing this move, Hanju's divine sense increased. Seeing him in a daze, Hong Quan waved her hand in front of Hanju. Husband, are you okay? What do you think of this stone, is it useful? He woke up and said, not bad, the background is not simple, it's a good treasure. I don't know whose memory it is. Perhaps that person is already gone. Hong Quan happily said, I'm glad you like it, then we. Upon hearing this, Hanju became like a fossil. He handed her a pair of smelly shoes. The demonic path is rampant outside, keep these 9-star treading spirit flowers. Hong Quan said, somewhat sadly, is there really no foot odor? He stiffly walked out of the cave entrance. This is a good thing. If I encounter a crisis alone in the future, I'll have the ability to escape. And it's almost time, I have to go out and teach the disciples the sword techniques. She walked over and licked his ear. Husband, I don't want these shoes, I only want you. Let's go teach the sword techniques first. Hong Quan threw Hanju onto the bed, making the bed creak loudly. She held his hand and pressed it on him, and Hanju screamed in terror, don't get too carried away, let me go, I still need to cultivate. Hong Quan answered, don't rush, last year I learned 6 birds play at a certain marquee mansion. I've wanted to research it with you. Hanju panicked, you're pressing on my lungs, I can't breathe. Hanju let out a soundless scream in the cave. Wait, let's put on clothes first. So this was the truth behind the original realm's tremor. The grass was fishing, and upon hearing Hanju's scream, she turned around. Such a loud noise, what happened to the master? The nearby prison chicken calmly said, it looks like the master is about to be eaten again. She anxiously asked, what, eaten? The grass immediately rushed over, but was stopped by the prison chicken. I said, are you acting like a tiger? It's not the kind of eating you think, don't ruin the master's good fortune. She helplessly looked up at the prison chicken's hand, tears in her eyes. What does that mean? Her cheeks turned slightly red, and she spoke with a mischievous tone. Don't worry, you'll know later. Time passed, and a month later, Hong Quan walked out with a cheerful face. The tribulation stage was indeed different, she was much stronger than before. The prison chicken beside her said, Mistress, take it slow, it rained in the morning, the road is a little slippery, be careful. She replied, Little Black is so obedient. The grass nervously said, she has the master's aura on her, could it be the master? She immediately ran into the cave. If something happens to the master, I won't spare you. Seeing the scene inside the cave, the grass couldn't help but shed tears. Hanju's smile and weary face were hidden beneath his long hair. The girl shouted. Master. In front of the grass, Hanju's emaciated body was sitting in meditation. Hanju trembled as he raised his hand, showing helplessness. Hanju's face withered like a ghost. The grass beside him handed him clothes and asked with concern, Master, are you all right? Were you injured? He picked up the clothes, and his body was like skin wrapped around bones. Injured? What injury? The girl replied, the black-eyed chicken said you were eaten by the woman who left earlier. Hanju suddenly turned his head and trembled, saying, this matter. He raised his hand and pinched the grass's face, scolding, Woman? That's your mistress, don't forget she's The one who brought you here. Do you want to forget your benefactor? The girl said with grievance, so she's the mistress. Hanju then said, now that you know, go and cultivate. The grass replied, yes, master. The girl ran out of the cave like smoke. Hanju angrily thought, it seems Little Black is talking nonsense again, I'll find a chance to fight him. Saying this, he activated the system. The system panel displayed several lines of information. Friend Ma Fuchio was sealed in a forbidden area by friend Shen Shurshur. Friend Chaos Celestial Dog met friend Suchi's disciple and brought bad luck. Because it's a luck divine beast, eliminating bad luck, friend Kianaiha met friend Suchi's disciple and brought evil luck, demonic nature rapidly increased. Friend Huang Zuantian was attacked by fellow disciples, adding 10 more years. Friendly Chioma was attacked by demonic cultivators, damage reached. Friend Xian Qingjun returned to the human world. Friend Zhou Fan reincarnated and began to cultivate past life memories. After reading the information, he clicked his tongue. These two brothers, Ma Fuchio and Zhou Fan, one is completely sealed, the other reincarnated and recultivated. Hanju focused on the system panel. The one who's sealed doesn't know when he will see the light again, and the reincarnated one doesn't know when he'll meet this pair of brothers again. He frowned, forget it, personal matters can wait, the current crisis is the most important. The Demon Emperor's forces will eventually sweep across Dian, I must hurry up and cultivate. If I can't defeat the Demon Emperor in one strike, it'll be troublesome. Hanju began to cultivate, absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, the most difficult part of cultivation. He had to ensure he could kill an enemy with a single strike. Outside the cave, a figure was gazing at the setting sun. It was Chang'an, his mouth slightly drooping, as if in deep thought. The prison chicken beside him asked, Chang'an, didn't you catch any fish today? Are you in a bad mood? Chang'an replied, it's nothing, just sighing at the heavenly grass. Sigh, why do people fall in love, even a grass has feelings? The prison chicken replied, I understand now. I figured it out, that little Beauty has already left. 10 years ago, little Beauty went out for training with the sect's team and was attacked by monsters. When the sect's reinforcements arrived at the battlefield, all that was left was a pile of bones and flesh. Li Qingzi, knowing of Zun Chang'an's past, specially came to inform him. After that, Zun Chang'an spent most of his time in a daze, only practicing and fishing. Upon hearing this, Chang'an clenched his fists and cried, don't mention her again. The prison chicken patted his shoulder, don't think about it anymore, focus on your cultivation. Walking with me isn't bad either, after all, she never liked you, it's time to sever that bond. When you ascend, I'll send you a fairy. Tiandong complained, Kai Gu, how many times do I have to say it? Stop poking at my heart. Has Chang'an been bullied by that stinky bird again? Rong Qi walked over and said, Kai Gu, let's have a match, junior brother, we'll team up. Hearing the voice, Fong Liang poked his head out. Fong Liang excitedly said, all right, senior brother, I've comprehended a new move today, you go first, I'll cooperate with you. Rong Qi replied, all right, I have a new idea too. Mo Rong Qi, I won't allow my master to be humiliated, even if it's from our own people. After saying this, the two erupted with their elemental power. The prison chicken nervously said, these two fools have new moves again, their breakthrough speed is so fast, they might surpass me soon. Looking at the tall trees, Mu Kai thought, if only there were another Chuzhou, then my strength would improve again. Let's see how these two silly boys dare to make trouble. He seemed to realize something, right, how about temporarily leaving the area of the Fusong tree, and then calling Chuzhou after some time? That would work too. A while later, Dong Qi and Fong Liang lay on the ground, both with lumps on their heads. Today's battle result, Black Mu Kai's complete victory. 13 years had passed, in the Tianya Pavilion on the ancient Yuan continent. The ground was full of corpses, and the young master of the Tianya Pavilion had lost one of his hands, kneeling on the ground. A demon cultivator spoke, the pavilion master is not here, the bloodbath is going smoothly, give up resistance, you're the last one left. Surrounding Tianya Pavilion had been taken over by demon cultivators. Someone asked the young master of Tianya Pavilion, the demon emperor. Seeing your extraordinary talent, advises you to surrender and your life will be spared. He replied, it's fine, it's just me left. The demon cultivator answered, you've made a wise choice, join the demon path, the demon emperor will give you a glorious life. He replied, of course. Dream on, and with that, he self-destructed his dantian. He loudly shouted, sorry, father, I can no longer fulfill my filial duty, and his body seemed like it was about to explode, with veins bulging. The demon cultivator saw this scene and panicked, didn't expect to meet someone desperate. Damn, retreat quickly. In Tianya Pavilion, a huge explosion shook the surroundings. Donghijing's self-explosion destroyed Tianya Pavilion. The sect leader of Tianya Pavilion, upon receiving the news, cried out, my son, Tianya Pavilion. People around comforted him, old Hong, hang on, as long as the green hills remain, there's no fear of firewood. Your son is a man who has drawn many demon cultivators as his backers, you should be proud. At this point, Jioding spoke, the demon path has officially expanded, we cannot just sit and wait. The righteous path must unite and begin the counterattack. Everyone shouted in unison, we agree with the true immortal, Golden Jade Holy Sect as the leader, to declare war on the demon emperor. The true immortals of the demon path have already withdrawn from Dayan, we want to send the young disciples from our sect to Dayan for refuge, I hope you can approve. Jioding replied, yes, this jade pendant can open the spiritual array for teleportation, take it. People around loudly shouted, thank you, true immortal. He said, order all golden core and above elders and disciples to gather and formally declare war on the demon emperor. Everyone shouted in unison, understood. The great battle is imminent, I must visit Elder Godslayer to prepare for the war. True immortal, you've worked hard. On the mountaintop, looking at the vast sea and sky, Jioding asked Hanju, Elder Godslayer, I have something to trouble you with, could you come out and talk? Hanju asked back, true immortal Jioding, is there trouble in the sect? He replied, Elder Godslayer, the demon emperor has begun to declare war on the righteous path, the world is in chaos. You've been concerned about the demon emperor for a long time, I want to hear your opinion, should we fight or flee? Hanju's sharp eyes replied, my idea is simple, recruit people, develop peacefully. The Golden Jade Holy Sect is just a sect, it can't really be considered a holy land. In the face of this great calamity, our strength can't change the situation. Instead of being a shield, it's better to focus on cultivation. The nearby Di Chao clung to Hanju. Jioding thought to himself, you're hiding a beautiful woman, giving up Elder Godslayer who is our big shot, but better not ask, asking won't help. Hanju looked up and said, under this heaven and earth, what righteous holy land can still support us? Only the celestial immortal mansion can do something. The demon path, do we really have to intervene? He touched his chin and asked, true, but if the demon path attacks Dayan, I wonder what Elder Han's cultivation is now? Hanju replied, I'm still in the tribulation stage. Hearing the words still in, Jioding was speechless, can this be believed? I've never heard of a cultivator over 500 years old saying still in, are you trying to break through to the great ascension stage? Ridiculous, extremely ridiculous. Hanju said, let's go, even if we enter Dayan, I'll still be here. Now, he was at the 5th level of the tribulation stage. After saying that, he immediately left. Di Chao asked, Master, who was that old man? Hanju replied, impolite, he is the sect master of the Yuqing sacred sect. Upon hearing this, the little girl's eyes lit up and asked, Yuqing sacred sect, can I go visit it? Hanju smiled and said, sure, just don't leave the sect's range. By the way, tell the black-eyed crane to make sure they don't leave the sect. Di Chao happily laughed, yes, master. Suddenly, a system notification popped up, and Hanju noticed the real-time updated system message. He seemed to have seen something that shocked him, and Hanju mumbled, over 50,000. In a restaurant, the black-eyed crane was pushed in by the chef to be slaughtered. The black-eyed crane shouted, isn't fishing enough? Why come to the street to play? 4 disciples stood nearby, watching and saying, Fried chicken costs 79 yuan, too expensive. Watching the scene,